is Newton's laws. Newton laws. These laws were given by the Isaac Newton. Basically, he gave the three laws, and these laws are about the force and acceleration. So if we talk about the first law of motion, or we can say these laws are given about the rest and motion, or force and acceleration. These are about this. So first law of the motion. What is this first law? Basically it states that every object continues its state until some external unbalanced force applied on it. What is mean by that? That every object continues its state until some external unbalanced force applied on it. For example, here give example, this is a ball, and from here one man is applying force of the 5 Newton, and from here a man is also applying force of the 5 Newton. So these both are the same force, so the ball will remain in the middle. So these both are the balanced force. These both are balanced force, so the ball will not change its position. The ball will not change its position because these both forces are equal, so they will cancel each other. So ball will not change its position. If we see here, this is a ball, and one man from here putting the force of the 10 Newton, and from here one man is putting for the 5 Newton. So you can see here these both are different forces. This is a 10 Newton, this is a 5 Newton. So the ball will go on this side because 10 Newton is more force than the 5 Newton, so ball will go on this side. So we can say this is an unbalanced force. So the ball will change its position from the rest to the motion. It will change its position from the rest to the motion. It was here, then it will go there on that side because the force of 10 Newton is more force than the 5 Newton. So basically in this, every object continues its state until some external unbalance. You can see here this is an unbalanced force. So until unbalanced force applied on it, every object continues its state, which means if it's in a rest state, ball is in rest state, it will continue its rest state until some external unbalanced force applied on it. Here unbalanced force was applied, so the ball changed its position from the rest to the motion. So this was the first law. Now this law is also known as law of inertia. Why? First of all, what is inertia? Inertia is basically, we can say, it is a property of a body. It is a property of a body, which means we can say that inertia maintain a position of a body. How? For example, if one body is in rest, inertia will put that body in the rest. It will maintain that rest position in the rest. So that's called the inertia. For example, if one body is in a motion, so inertia will maintain that position in the motion. So that is also called the inertia. So we can say that first law of motion is also known as a law of inertia. Now if we talk about the second law of the motion, first of all, one point here I will tell that the inertia is a direct measure of the mass. It's a direct measure of mass. How? If the mass will be greater, inertia will be greater. If the mass will be less, the inertia will be less. Now, if we talk about the factors of first law, what are the factors? Number one factor, that is the air pressure. Air pressure is a factor of the body from the rest to the motion. If body is going from the rest to the motion, there is also factor that is called air pressure. There is also air pressure that we can say maintain the position from the rest to the motion. After that, another is that is a friction. Friction is also a factor how when you throw ball, the friction will be produced on the ground. On some point it will stop. So we can say friction is produced when a body is going to motion, and on one point it will stop, so the friction will be produced, so it is also a factor. Number 3, that is the gravitational force. Gravitational force is also a factor. After that, if we talk about the second law of motion, what it states, basically second law of motion, it states that when a force is applied, on a body, it produces acceleration. How? For example, this is one body that is moving from here to here, so obviously it will produce acceleration. So in this he is saying that when a force is applied on a body, it produces acceleration in the direction of applied force. What is mean by this? That if a body is moving in this direction, so the acceleration will also produce in this direction. If a body is moving in this direction, so acceleration will produce in this direction. So when a force is applied on a body, it produces acceleration in the direction of the applied force. After that, whose magnitude is directly proportional to the applied force and inversely proportional to the mass of a body. How? Let's see. That whose magnitude is directly proportional, which means the magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to the force. Magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to the force. Here you can see the body is moving here to here. Obviously some external force is applied on it, that's why it's moving from here to here. So acceleration is directly proportional to the force. When the body moves from here to here by the force, so acceleration is produced. So we can say acceleration is directly proportional to the force. After that, to the applied force and inversely proportional to the mass of the body, which means that this is a body, it produces acceleration. So if the mass of a body is, we can say, lower, so body will produce higher acceleration. If the mass of a body is higher, it will produce lower acceleration. So acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass of the body. We can write here as F upon m. Acceleration is directly proportional to F upon m. When we cut the proportional sign, so A is equals to K, F upon m, K is a constant. So we can write here that F is equals to ma, value of K is equals to 1. So F is equals to m. Here we are having formula for finding the force. So this for the second law. Now if we talk about the third law of motion, what it states? It states that for every action there